Mike, this is a beautiful car. What do we have here?
Yes. Guys, we have a 1986 Rolls-Royce Corniche 2. What a beautiful car.
You know, I love the car. It's amazing, but I do have to ask the question, what does this have to do with buying a house?
I am kind of with you, Tony. I'm not sure.
Guys, you have to have a place to store a toy like this, right? You gotta have a garage.
That's a very good point. We did that whole garage show where we had everything from storage of extra cars to bars, drum sets.
Dude, we had the drum sets in there.
We had a garage band going, yeah.
It's really important because sometimes us men have to live in there.
That's just you. That's just you.
Hey, wait a minute. Elizabeth and I have been setting up for the last hour and a half. What have you guys been doing?
Look, he did it.
Yeah,
Looking at the toys.
nice Rolls Royce, but it doesn't matter. We got to start the show, guys. Elizabeth and I have done most of the work. Come on, hurry up.
All right.
I'll be back in a minute.
All right.
Welcome to Between the Studs. We are Granite Ridge Builders, custom builders serving northern Indiana, northwest Ohio, and also parts of southern Michigan. We have been building custom homes for almost 2 decades, and we're really passionate about what we do. So join us today as we explore the processes, the trends, and also tips that characterize today's new home. Thanks for watching.
Hey, welcome back. Hey, today is a special episode of Between the Studs. You know, let's face it, these are changing times. There's a lot of questions out there, particularly related to our industry, building homes. And one of the big questions is, should I own or buy a home? And the answer is yes. In fact, if you can afford to, you ought to buy 2 homes. And today, we want to talk about your home and the incredible investment opportunities it offers.
Well, I know, Lonnie, everybody's asking me, is it still a time for a good investment?
Yes.
The answer is absolutely yes. 21 years ago, Granite Ridge started with a slogan, building a solid investment. Get it with Granite? It still is an amazing opportunity, and we're going to give you some stats here in a few minutes about if you would have bought a home from us 21 years ago, what it is worth today and what your account would look like. It's amazing.
And people think that it's actually going to be going down right now, and it's not doing that at all. No. And everyone's thinking, well, if I should have 3 years ago, well, don't say that again 3 years from now. You need to get going.
What other questions are we going to try to answer for everybody today?
Well, let's talk about inventory. Inventory has been so low, and the question is, well, are things going to change and we're going to have more inventory? The answer is no. We have not produced enough houses over the past 10 years to keep up with the amount of people. So we're not going to see a lot of inventory, so it's a great time to build.
And I think, Lonnie, you've got some great stats on that here in a few minutes about how much inventory we're short.
Right. Yeah.
We talk all the time about how many businesses are moving into our area. Those people need houses.
Transferees are way up. Yeah. It's amazing how Fort Wayne has got the name now that people want to live here. It's affordable. It's unbelievable downtown. We're adding a lot of corporations, investment in the city. It's really a great.
And so many people move to Fort Wayne, and as they look at our housing stock and our inventory and our prices, they get really excited because where they've come from, it's not the case.
And sometimes they're still asking about special financing programs. Do you have things that maybe can help out someone who's never owned a home before? Yes. There are still zero down programs. There's still lower interest rate programs. There's still all types of opportunities for people.
So you're saying it's not just 7% interest rates. You're going to show us that.
We're going to show you down as low as 3, 2, 1% all the way down.
Yeah, that's the main question I keep hearing is just interest rates, and what are they going to do? And, is this still a good time to buy? And we're here to still say, yes, there are still plenty of different options that are available. And again, historically, we're still at a very good spot.
Did you know that the average homeowner typically has a net worth that's 40 times higher than the typical renter?
It's unbelievable. Wow.
It's a forced savings. You think about it, you make your mortgage payment every month, you're making a principal payment, where if you're making your rent payment, you are literally just paying interest every month.
Charity, think of this. If somebody would have bought a home from us, let's say 30 years ago, and it would have been a $300,000 house, do you realize you have a $300,000 savings account?
Right.
Minimally.
Plus appreciation.
Yeah.
So it's still an amazing investment.
And guys, we're incredibly lucky in this area because we have such a heavy influence from the Amish and Mennonite community. They have raised the bar on craftsmanship and standards in the home building community so high that other communities around our area just don't realize the quality that we have in our homes.
Yeah, I've had the luxury of traveling all over the United States looking at houses, and I truly believe the best houses are built here by Granite Ridge, of course. And You know, we talk about that quality. What about our cabinets? Our cabinets alone. I mean, you could highlight several, but the cabinets really stand out to me because we have that Amish community building custom-built cabinets in every one of our houses. Those are some things you got to come out to our model homes and just look at.
And those are going to last for the years.
Yeah.
As you're building your investment, they're going to last for that
Yep.
15, 20, 25 years.
We always say the kitchen is the heart of the home. So if the highest quality of your house is the heart of the home, like, you're not going wrong with it.
And you mentioned investment. And as you look at the statistics in Indiana, over the last 30 years, there's only been 3 years where housing prices actually dropped. Those other years, 2.5% to 17.5% a year appreciation. So we're talking about building an investment, a big investment.
Okay, now that we've done that, guys, let's do this. You started talking a little bit about the houses, especially new construction, of course. That's what we do. We're very passionate about our new construction. We're very custom builders. But let's tell our audience, what are some advantages of the homes today versus even the older homes, but why your home is so important to invest in, and what can we do for that? Like, I'll give you an example. Rooms. During these last couple of years, people have wanted more rooms. So what are some of the rooms that you guys have seen that they've trying to add to our new construction?
They need home offices. How many people have been working from home now because of COVID?
The sunroom, that extra space, or a flex room.
The children's office or wherever they're going to be doing their homework and they're going to be doing their home studying. And that includes them also playing their musical instruments and getting into all their different extracurriculars that they're doing at home.
Yeah, and Lonnie, you were playing down in the craft room just a few minutes ago.
I was. And also the pantry. The pantry used to be 5 shelves behind a door. Now it's a room. You walk in, your microwave's in there, maybe a second range. Pantries, they're rooms.
And outdoor living for me, though, I love getting outside and being able to sit outside without the weather affecting you as much and still getting that outdoor feel.
Izzy, what would your guess be? How many verandas are we putting on all of our homes right now?
I know, I said 65 to 70%.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy. I bet it's higher than that.
Yeah.
Well, then the components that go into these new houses. When I compare our new house to a house that's maybe 25, 30 years old or older than that, there's expensive items in those houses that need to be replaced. And we have it here, the Anderson high performance windows, our roofs, our HVAC. Those are just things you can't even hardly put a value on when you're comparing it to an older home.
Including our new standard with the tankless water heaters that we're doing.
Yep.
What about floor plans? Floor plans are so different than they were 10, 20, 30 years ago. We have obviously open, so the houses feel so much bigger. We can also build the new thing, which is modern homes. So again, there's so much value in new construction, we
The
think.
design is much smarter now.
I still think we're not even addressing the fact that affordability and building into a new community. When you're building in the communities that we're doing here, you've got the prices in our areas, you quite literally can rent or you can buy and still, again, now you've got an investment that you're going into at the same price. And you're getting a lot more when it comes to the home versus the apartment. So the affordability that we have in our area is a huge reason.
Okay, we got to go to a commercial break real quick, and let's do this. Let's talk a little bit more about renting maybe versus buying and a couple other things on interest rate, so stay tuned.
Do you need a home and do you need it now? Give Granite Ridge Builders a call. Did you know that we have over 100 spec homes under construction in Fort Wayne and the surrounding areas? Some of these homes have basements, 3-car garages, 4 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. Give Granite Ridge Builders a call. You may have talked to us a few months ago and we were out of inventory, but don't worry, Granite Ridge Builders has you covered. Give us a call at 490-1417.
When we're talking about buying a home, owning a home, doing everything, I hear a lot of first-time people who are renting right now say, I'm just going to wait to see what happens. Really, we want to unpack this a little bit and talk about the difference in renting versus buying and how this can be so beneficial to you.
Well, it's because the rent's too high.
Simple.
Well, what it is, when we look at it, I mean, honestly, we're talking about $1,300 a month is the average rent in Fort Wayne, which is up 40% from years past.
Wow.
So we're looking at a drastic change in the amount that you're paying for rent. But on top of that, we've been looking into the difference between what $1,300 worth of rent can get versus $1,300 worth of purchasing a new home. With $1,300 rent, you're looking at maybe 900 square feet, no garage, 2 bedrooms, maybe 2 bath. When we're looking at that same cost for a new home, that $1,300 will get you approximately 1,400 square feet, a 2, maybe even 3 car garage, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, a yard. So again, there's so much more value in taking that $1,300 a month and putting it into a new home.
Hey, Izzy.
Yep.
If you can find the apartment.
Yes.
It's scary out there.
You think about that $1,300 a month, so that means you're giving somebody else over $15,000 of your money every year instead of paying yourself $15,000. I mean, Lonnie talks all the time about how much equity you're earning.
Right. A lot of people don't understand it, but if you have like a $300,000 to $350,000 mortgage, every month as you make your mortgage payment, you're reducing your principal by over $400, more than $5,000 in the first year, and every year thereafter it grows.
Now that's a savings account.
That's that forced savings.
And besides that, the homeowner typically can write off the taxes and the insurance. So you could take a $2,200, $2,300 payment, take about $800 or $900 right off of that, and that gets you down to that $1,300 mark. I know what I get for $350,000. I don't like what I see at $1,300 to rent.
No.
So what are some of the advantages, would you guys say, of, especially new homes, what is the advantages of what do we get with a new home compared to renting?
One of the big things that I see with a new home when it compares to renting is you have a lot of the same conveniences with the new home because you don't have to worry about replacing a furnace, a water heater, a roof. It's all handled for you and under the warranty.
I'm a terrible sleeper. Like I can't sleep. So I cannot be in an apartment where I can hear people walking above me. I can't do it.
They don't like to hear you either.
I'm into the decor.
Yes.
You can't paint your walls. What you get is what you get, and it's hard to make that a home. With our homes, you pick out your wall color, your flooring, your cabinets, and it truly feels like a home. And then, of course, my dog. A lot of places won't let me have my dog. And if they do, there's a lot of other dogs. So there's a lot of barking or other animals around.
And there's another fee.
Yes.
There's another fee when you have that other animal.
Now guys, we talk a lot about outdoor living, gardening. Those are things that you just don't have when you're renting. You buy a new home, you can put your garden in, you can have a veranda sometimes, you have these beautiful views. It's just something that you can come home to and be proud of.
Well, your kids, it's nothing else for your kids. They get their own playground equipment, they get their own yard. You can play softball, baseball, all those fun games, little cornhole. Well, Mike can't play cornhole. But other than that, most people can. That's what a yard and that's what living is all about.
Yeah. And I come from a big family, and most of these apartments are just not set up to be able to host people. They have a tough time finding parking. Once you're there, you all feel a little crammed. The kitchens aren't quite big enough to be able to put multiple things out. So I found it very difficult to have more than just one guest over at a time.
Yeah. Holidays aren't the same.
No, you build so many good memories in a home, and I know when we've moved out of houses, it's always sad. You're leaving behind all these memories, things that you've made the house your home. I've never cried when I left an apartment, I can tell you that.
I was really surprised at how sad I was moving, again, from my first home to my second home. My second home I was so excited about, but still when I was leaving, I did exactly that. I flashed back through every time I had spent with friends and family in that home, and that home is really what helps those memories happen.
Think about the kids and the door jamb, measuring the height of the kids. You don't do that in an apartment, do you?
No, you get fined.
Guys, in a real house, I actually use a broom to sweep the floors instead of banging on the ceiling to tell the neighbors to quiet down too.
One big thing that I'm hearing from everyone here with the memories, it's stability in the home.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives you just that security blanket when you have the house that you, your children, grandchildren, this is where they feel safe. And that's one thing you just can't get in an apartment.
Well, to wrap up, here's what I would say is with a new home, especially with us, we're a very custom builder. You can get anything you want, anytime you want. Today with renting, sometimes it's not available, might not be in the right location. That's true of the existing too. So I would say encourage everyone to give us a call. Talk to us. We will show you how rent and buying a home, it's less expensive normally, and there's a forced savings account there that you will appreciate in the long term.
And your payment's not going to change. You don't know what rent's going to be next year.
Great point.
So I have a really simple question for you. Is your rent going up this year? Average of 30% around the Allen County area is going up in rent. Stop that right now. Fix your house payments. It's really simple. You can get into a USDA 502 loan. Lower interest rates between 1 and 3%, and you never have to worry about your rent going up again. You can build family memories. You can watch the kids playing in the backyard as you make snacks on the island. You can do this all very simply by going to graniteridgebuilders.com and click on the button.
Welcome back. This segment we're about to discuss is extremely important because we're going to dispel the myth of interest rates. There's been a lot of confusion. Are they high? Are they low? What's going on with them? Where are they headed? We're going to talk about that. All I know is about 18 years ago, I started with Granite Ridge, and they were at 6%. And shortly after, I bought my first house, and everybody told me, man, you've got a fantastic interest rate at that time.
That's true.
And so if it was fantastic then, is it fantastic today?
Well, I was 7.7 in the mid-90s getting my first house with the interest rate, so I think this 5.5 stuff's wonderful.
Not only was I at that same interest rate, but back then, I had to do an FHA because I only had 5% to put down, so I had that lovely PMI insurance on top of that too.
I built a house in 1981, and get this, guys. I paid 16.5% interest only. It was awful.
Now you're just bragging.
No, I'm not.
I know when my parents bought their first home in 1978, you had to have 20% down, no matter what. So 20% down and 9% interest rate, and they thought they got a deal.
Well, you know, we're living in a great times. I remember my grandfather telling me that back then they didn't have such thing as loans. They had to get money from, borrow it from their parents or a friend. There just wasn't the mortgage companies and the banks that were loaning like this. So we are blessed to live in an amazing time. And like Luke said, really our rates are amazing. Lonnie and I both said back in about, 83, 84, if they went down below 10%, we'd both die and go to heaven.
Yeah.
We're still here though.
We've died a couple times, don't we?
They're amazing rates.
Really are. And one thing you want to remember about interest rates is as they go up or as they go down, 25 to 30% of that is paid by Uncle Sam. So the adjusted rate is actually 30%.
Because it's deductible, is that what
Because
you're
it's
saying?
a tax deduction.
Now, Lonnie, there's all kinds of different programs out there, correct, that they can go into. There's all kinds of new things that banks and different people are coming up with programs, aren't there?
There really are. We're going to sell more than 100 homes this year and next year that require zero down and interest rates from maybe 4.5% all the way down to 1%. Yes, 1%. Wow. It's still out there, and it's really a very important program for us. It's a very important program for many people that we know.
So who would buy that kind of a program?
Wow.
Who's it good for?
Single people, elderly people, young families. It is income sensitive. You got to have an income in the mid-range someplace, but if you're in the market for a home, you don't even have to be a first-time home buyer, by the way. You may qualify for this loan program.
So how much of an income would you say? My maximum income would be how much?
I would say you need to be making 30-something, and you can make up to well over 70 or 80-something, actually even 100-something for the guaranteed program. So It's a big, wide range. It's a big, wide highway, and we'd love to talk to you about that.
But Lonnie, the other thing on that is zero down, no PMI. So no private mortgage insurance. That's what gets a lot of people.
How much does that save, you think?
It could save you $200 a month.
Right.
And the no PMI could save you too, but if you're looking at a 5.5–6% interest rate compared to a 1% interest rate, you're talking about a $900 to $1,100 a month swing that you could still be in for less than rent.
So again, how many people would you say we can do that program this year? Can we get to how many?
Oh, I think we can get to 150 and even 200 because there's a couple different programs out there. There's also another program that doesn't restrict you to a rural area. And again, it's income sensitive, but if you fall in that highway, wow, what a wonderful way to buy a house.
You would suggest then, if you know somebody, maybe it's not you, maybe it's your son, daughter, getting married, elderly, doesn't matter. You would probably have to say, it's a sense of urgency, you might want to call quick. This money or this program is going to go so fast, especially in this economy.
Yeah, it's still, the interest rates are still good enough that if you are planning on being in any area for more than 2 to 3 years, this is the way to spend your money. Use this interest rate still, because again, when you rent, it's 100% interest.
Okay, I hear something about this arm thing. Everybody keeps talking about arms.
It's not these.
No, it's not those. What is this arm and why are you guys so giggly about it?
We have ARMs. We used to use them, and they have returned to our market, and it actually refers to, it's an acronym that refers to adjustable rate mortgage.
Oh.
And it means that the interest rate over a particular term does change. The most popular ARM right now is actually a 10-year ARM, which means you live in the home for 10 years.
Yep.
Fixed rate, and then after 10 years, it may adjust up or down, up or down. And then there's also a 5-year, what they call a 5-5 ARM. That means you have a 5-year fixed rate, and then every 5 years it adjusts thereafter. The interesting thing about ARMs, guys, that nobody talks about is if you take an ARM out compared to a fixed rate, you reduce your principal a great deal more on an ARM. A lot of people don't know that.
So the total amount that you owe at the end of that period is less.
Exactly. Like on a 5-year ARM, for example, in the 350 range, it could be upward of $30,000 that you've saved by taking out the ARM.
Tony, what are some of the rates they start at? What's a 5-arm start at?
I'm seeing 5-arm rates starting right now at about 3.5%.
What? What
Yes.
it was 3
Yes.
months before the raise?
Yes. Yes.
That's pretty good. What's a 10?
10 is going right around 4.25, 4.25, which is still a point and a quarter lower than what some of the other ones are. And the average American moves every 7 to 8 years. So on a 10-year ARM, you're going to end up selling that home before it would ever have a chance to
What if the
adjust.
rates would drop? Can I refinance that, Lonnie?
There's no prepayment penalty, and so that means if the rates would drop next year or in 2 years or in 3 years or whenever, you can adjust your mortgage at that point and lock into a fixed.
Well,
Refinance.
that could happen then.
That could.
Oh, yeah.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. And we can even go to another level with ARMs. If you want to do that, come in and talk to us, and we'll show you on paper how an ARM is a great deal for almost everybody. At Granite Ridge Builders, we recognize financing is a very critical subject these days. At Granite Ridge Builders, we're ready to sit down with you and discuss your specific needs as it relates to the down payment you have or don't have, the closing cost, whether you need us to carry the loan or you can carry the loan, and the interest rate that you're looking for, whether it's an adjustable rate or a fixed rate. Give us a call. We'll be glad to sit down and talk with you. It's a misconception that you need a down payment. Give us a call. We'll talk about all those options out there on the table.
Well, we're excited to talk about the future in housing in the Fort Wayne market, but I'm excited about the house behind us. We are out here in Tullymore Run. This is in Leo, and we're at our model home. So this is off of Garmin Road, the former Cedar Creek Golf Course, so you maybe have been out here. And this home is open most Sundays. You can visit our website, graniteridgebuilders.com, for the hours and the dates and times. But this is a gorgeous model. So eventually it'll be for sale, but right now you just have to look at it and drool over it. This home has a walkout basement, a wine grotto, a craft room.
It's got a fun bar.
It does.
It's got,
it does.
You have a fun bar.
It does. But anyways, Luke, why don't you talk a little bit more about the bright future we have?
Yeah, sure. So in this segment, I think we want to talk about the cost to build a new home. So where's the cost headed, but also kind of future predictions of what the market's going to hold. So I am currently the president of the Home Builders Association, and between local here and then the state, we've been running lots of predictions. And I can tell you one thing for sure, the cost of housing is not going to go down. That's just not going to happen. It's going to level out some. It's going to become a little bit more healthy on how things are inflating. But I guarantee 3 years from now, it's going to cost us more to build a house like behind us than it did today.
So you're saying the supplies are going to start to come into better fashion. Is that what you're saying? You're already seeing it.
Yeah, we already see it on the supply chain side of things. Things are easing up a little bit. But Lonnie and I have talked about this. Really, the supply that we have of the homes in our market is super, super low. And the demand's super, super high. So we kind of need to unpack that.
In the United States, we need 2 million new home starts every year just to meet the growing need. Wow. Right now, we're running around 1.5. And let's bring it down to Allen County. For the last, 5 or 6 years, we've done 700-800 homes. Maybe we'll do 1,200-1,500 this year, but we need over 2,000. Yep. Sooner or later, it's going to catch up with It's catching up with us now. Yeah. We need new homes.
Yeah. I think that prediction on that, Lonnie, that's almost, in Allen County, 5,000 homes short.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is new construction. And that's what we do best, of course.
Yep. And we have a fantastic chart that shows this. So over the decades of all the housing inventory that's currently in our area, About average, we built 10 to 15% each decade for that complete 100% housing inventory. Well, you can see on this graph that between 2010 and 2019, we only made up 3% of the current inventory that's out there. So we're almost 12 years running of way short. We're probably under a third of what we should have been building during that entire time. So not only is the demand hot right now, but we have 12 years of underperforming that we need to make up for.
Now the good news, Lonnie, when we were building in the 1960s and 70s, our houses are still standing.
They are.
That's a good thing.
Stats also show us that there are literally 12 million more households in the market today than there was just a few years ago. It's growing. Like we said, we need houses, and it's a great opportunity right now for you to find one.
We love our custom build jobs, but people may not realize we do a lot of spec homes. So we build a lot of homes. They don't have a homeowner attached to them. We build them. If you want a new home, you can come in and purchase that home when it's completed. And then of course we have all of our open houses. So on any given Sunday, there may be 25 homes you could walk through. They may be for sale or a model for you to get ideas on your new build.
And a lot of people want to know why Granite Ridge is so amazing at building custom homes. And it's because of the amount of people that we have on staff that are amazing at their jobs. We have 5 architects and draftsmen on hand every single day. We have 5 full-time designers. So when you come in, you have a question about a new custom build, we can make it happen no matter what your dream is.
Right, and then on the construction side, we've got over 25 people that are on these job sites looking at them every day, and they communicate with you through Builder Trend, because we know if you're working, you can't be on the job site every day, and we try to keep you informed with everything that's happening, and we try to really make it a fun experience all the way through that build process.
How many pictures do you give them per custom home?
Right, so the end of the job, there could be potentially 500 plus pictures uploaded of every process in that construction phase, so that way they can go back and look at those pictures at any time. They have that forever.
But I think you had one that was a record. It beat that one by far.
Yeah,
it was like 1,700.
Yeah.
You had something to do with that.
But the interesting thing about this is what Mike is saying and what Luke is saying about the architects and the draftspeople and the designers and the construction team. Everything's being shown to someone. They're showing them pictures of what it's going to look like. They're showing them the design so they don't have to wonder what it's going to be.
Right, and getting back to predictions, that's really what we're talking about. Where's this housing thing going? The national statistics tell us we can expect at least 5% appreciation on homes over the next several years. Again, it's a good time to buy a house.
Yeah, and the reason we did this show today, to wrap up, is there's been a lot of questions about should we buy, is it a good investment? There's a lot of things on the news media, a lot of rumors out there. Hopefully this dispelled a lot. We're not seeing all that. Yes, it is definitely tough times. Yes, it is hard to get supplies. We've had to manage that daily, and we still do. But as Lonnie's always been saying, this is an amazing investment. All we can say is as simple as this. If you buy a house today, we can almost guarantee that within 5 to 10 years, you will never, ever be sorry. You'll have an investment you're proud of. You'll have memories. You'll have garage storage that you might not have had if you were renting. But it really is a good time to build and buy. Would you go ahead and close for us?
Sure. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you'd like to know a little bit more about who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do so well, please pick up the phone and give us a call. Visit our website, graniteridgebuilders.com, or better yet, stop in our front door. We would love to talk to you.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to stay here. This is beautiful.
I have
This
Rolls Royce over there.
Oval Office.
I'm going back to the fun bar.
Okay. I want to talk to the people.
She's a TV person too. She's
I want to talk to the people. Okay.
That was good though.
Yeah.
More and more people are moving to our area, so that shortage gets even more, it gets even wider.
More, wider.
Longer, wider, deeper.
Deeper,
Yeah.
You know that song, Deep and Wide?
Deep and wide.
Deep and wide.
Okay.
And
That was great. Okay. Thank you very much for that quote.